When it comes to trying to understand how God does things, this is how I feel sometimes. Here's what God thinks about on his lunch break.
In the rotation spectrum of carbon-12, oxygen-16, the line arising from the transition L equals 4, therefore 3 is at 461.04077 gigahertz.
And then here's me in comparison.
Dude, can I have a treat? Can I go outside? I'm feeling cold. I need a blanket.
Non-rotating carbon-oxygen molecule, the intranuclear distance is S is greater than or equal to 0.113 nanometers.
I'm tired from sleeping all day. Can we go to the store?
So what I'll say about missing the dates of September 23rd, 24th, October 6th and 7th.
Hey, look at me, I'm a moron. I wasn't even close. I was using numbers and stuff.
I'll say that if me guessing those dates and promoting those dates caused anyone's witness to be damaged, anyone to be harmed in their understanding of believing for Jesus, I'll apologize for that. As far as watching, I'm going to continue to watch. I've had a really busy day and no time to record, so let's see if we can do a screenshot buffet here and get caught up. Qatari Prime Minister Donald Trump's the only one in the world who can achieve peace in Gaza. I think everybody's pretty much up to speed on this by now, I would think. The hostages are going to be released Monday or Tuesday, Trump tells the cabinet meeting, says we ended the war in Gaza. I'm currently recording this on Thursday the 9th, so on the 10th, the Nobel Peace Prize winner is due to be announced on October 10th in Norway, and Netanyahu calls for Trump to receive the Nobel Peace Prize over the Israel-Hamas deal. So I've been fairly skeptical about Hamas agreeing to peace. Trying to get Hamas to agree to peace is like trying to keep your cat out of the Christmas tree.
Oh my gosh. Dang it.
I also don't have a cat and I don't have a Christmas tree. So you can see why Trump is getting praised for getting peace with this impossible group. I mean, Hamas literally means violence in Hebrew. In this article, Netanyahu invites Trump to address the Knesset after an emotional call on the hostage deal. This was from today. So he's going to speak to the Israeli government. Isn't it interesting that we've heard from Joshua, which, a lot of people are disregarding now. I've put the date looking to rest. So if I have ideas about that, I'll keep it to myself. But, the idea was put forth to look for an exodus. Don't you find it interesting that they have had meetings, negotiations at the Red Sea Hotel Resort on the Sinai Peninsula on the Red Sea to release hostages, and Netanyahu has said, "Let my people go." And now they've negotiated an exodus. Exodus, Monday or Tuesday. They're all celebrating how it's the end of the war, how, Trump is bragging how he's got 7 peace deals with, he's created peace in 7 wars that nobody's ever heard of, and now this is number 8, so he can get his Nobel Peace Prize. I've shown in previous videos that there are Jewish people that think that he's a messiah. But then on the opposite side of things, we've got this same man giving Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine, which puts the entire Russian civilization within reach, or at least everything that's major, I suppose. I'm not a Russian geography whiz. But today it was said that the final draft of the first phase of a Gaza peace deal was signed by all parties on Thursday, the Israeli government spokesperson said. The agreement means fighting will stop, Israel will partially withdraw from the Palestinian enclave, and Hamas will free the hostages in exchange for prisoners. So I can't explain all this, but this verse keeps coming to my remembrance about this whole situation. Daniel 8:24 and 25. His power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Again, I don't know exactly what that means, but it keeps coming to my thoughts. By peace destroy many. So, it's been said, peace and safety, peace and security, sudden destruction, right? So in this deal, we've got 8 Muslim countries. I think he said 7 Arab and 1 Muslim country are part of this deal. It's a covenant with many. And the problem with that is, listen to what this ex-Muslim lady has to say.
There's something in Islam called taqiyya. Can you talk about what that is?
Yeah, so taqiyya is so again, I came from a Sunni background and I hadn't even heard of it as a concept, but apparently in Shia Islam it's more of a bigger deal. But again, it exists in both. It's in the Sharia manuals. Essentially, to just in a nutshell, it's giving you permissibility to lie in order to further propagate the cause of Islam. So essentially, in order to make Islam look good or to, keep its PR in check, if you will, you're allowed to bend the truth, and you're allowed to hide and mask your identity and your real intentions and your real objectives, in order to further Islam in any way.
In any way, so there's no moralistic boundaries to that?
Not that I'm aware of. If the end goal is that it will further Islam, in any way that's positive, that's anything is okay.
So according to Bible prophecy, we know this peace is all a scam and a sham, and the devil wants Israel gone. It's all about getting Jerusalem. Zechariah 12 talks about Jerusalem being a cup of trembling and a burdensome stone. Sorry, the picture's so glitchy. But, this was an article that I pulled from France 24, and it was a lot about the Gaza peace deal. Right here in the middle, it says, Palestinian President Abbas says he hopes Gaza deal would lead to the establishment of an independent Palestinian state. So these guys aren't putting this to rest. And if you remember, at the UN, Trump presented a 21-point peace plan. And I said in earlier videos that point 21 was a pathway to a Palestinian state. And then when he presented the plan to Netanyahu that following Monday, it became a 20-point plan where the Palestinian state issue was dropped off of that plan. So do you think that the Muslims agreed to the 21-point plan and then somehow Netanyahu got duped into thinking that wasn't part of the deal? Before I got on here, somebody asked me if my gut feeling was that this was really the thing. And I said, okay, well, when have you ever had someone in the position to get Muslims and Israel into a deal, get Hamas to agree to a peace deal, even if it's, false pretenses? I mean, we're talking about their name means violence. It's the cat in the Christmas tree. It's just in their nature to do it. We have multiple angles where they're presenting global identity, and in some places even talking about it being mandatory. We have multiple places presenting alien narratives, saying that the aliens are coming. I don't see this deal happening again. I don't see this circumstance presenting itself again, especially in the timelines that we have, the just multiple things that point to 2025, the Essenes, Tom Horn, Apophis, it's been covered. So
I want to thank everybody for being here. As you know, last night we reached a momentous breakthrough in the Middle East, something that people said was never going to be done. We ended the war in Gaza and really, on a much bigger basis, created peace. And I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace. Peace in the Middle East. We secured the release of all of the remaining hostages, and they should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them. There are places you don't want to be, but we are getting the hostages back on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. And that'll be a day of joy. I'm going to try and make a trip over. We're going to try and get over there. And we're working on the timing, the exact timing. We're going to go to Egypt, where we'll have a signing, an additional signing. We've already had a signing representing me, but we're going to have an official signing. And the amazing thing is all of the countries over there, from Qatar to Saudi Arabia to UAE to all of them, I mean, the rich ones, the less than rich ones, they've all come together, something which is amazing, actually. They've all come together for this, and they're really probably the best relationships they've ever had. So it's been really something incredible that nobody thought it was possible to get it done.
Mr. Messiah Trump talks for another 20 minutes in that clip, so I'll spare you that. But, he does go on to say that Gaza would be turned into, an investment for all those multiple Muslim countries, and that they would just continue to pour money into it. He doesn't exactly say, but it sounds like just to make it into that Mediterranean resort sort of thing. So this is still a land divide. They're causing Israel to pull out of the land so that they can come in and make it into, a seaside resort. What is the goal of all this? Why am I showing you all these clips of all these things? In Isaiah 46:9, it says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." So my point here is to show you that God showed this stuff in His Bible, in His Word, thousands of years ago, and it's happening in your lifetime. These are the one of the things that just fascinated me when the Lord called me to become a real born-again Christian. And when I understood that prophecy was happening, that the Bible said things that were happening, I was just absolutely blown away. And now we're having so much that I can't keep up on a daily basis to present all this stuff to you. So if this is true, then that means the author of the book is true, and the testimony of Jesus Christ is true, that Jesus Christ paid the price for you to be saved, that there is no other name under heaven by which men must be saved. There's no Mormon, Buddha, Allah, there's nobody else that can do this for you, because in all those other religions, you have to do works to get to God. But in Christianity, God did the works for you to get to Him. Jesus Christ paid the price, shed His blood, so that His sacrifice could atone for your sins, and He could stand in your place. So you have to make this His temple, make Him Lord, invite Him in, and He will make you a new creation. Old things have passed away, all things have become new, and that you can have a relationship with God Himself. That's the only way to get to heaven. You can't be a good enough person, not even on your best day. So I show you this because it testifies of Jesus Christ. He said to, I don't remember right now if it was the Pharisees or the disciples, but He said, you search the Scriptures to find eternal life, but the Scriptures speak of me. The whole book speaks about Jesus Christ. So you need to know Him before it's too late, because they could be signing the covenant with many that starts the 7-year tribulation in just days. And if not, then it's just another stepping stone to the next phase of it. We're so close. Jesus is coming.